Hi, it's Lipstick Al. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk about some July favorites. I feel like my makeup habits have been really different this month. I feel like it comes down to the heat. Like it's hot where I live now, like 100 degrees plus every day. And I mean, it'll cool down in the evening when the sun is gone, but it's not always cool enough to open up the windows at night. So I feel like during the heat of the day, even though the bulk of the time I am in air conditioning, if I have to drive my kids from point A to point B, I find that I do see a lot of like meltage going on. I know I could put on, certain primers and powders to kind of lock everything in, but then I would feel like I'm wearing a mask and I would like, is my face gonna crack out in the heat? And I don't want that. I want a really lightweight look. Obviously not today, but that's kind of what I've been going for. So I have kind of been skipping foundation. I have. The one thing I never skip, and this is not new to anybody, like my favorite here, this is the Super Luminous Under Eye Genius from Beauty Pie. This I will wear on days where just like under the eyes here. Sometimes I'll use a little bit on the corners of my nose to kind of minimize redness. This is such a beautiful, and I know it's meant to be like for the under eyes, but I kind of use it as like a really easy concealer just to bring down like hyperpigmentation, under eye circles. And you see how close it is to my skin tone. So if I continue to tap this in, pretty soon you can't tell where my skin is and the product begins. It's much easier to have that line be underneath my eye because like the back of my hand definitely has a little bit more freckling and I think it's more obvious there. But I have been like, I've been in love with this since I tried it for the first time, but it comes in super handy in weather like this when I want the most minimal look. Okay, if I want something more than just that, if I want a little bit more coverage, but I'm not putting on a full face of makeup, I will reach for this. So this is the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have the shade G11. I've made a pretty hefty divot in this little pot here so far this summer. And I love this. This is one of my favorite concealers. It's mainly because it's a medium concealer. It's not too light. Sometimes I feel like I, will go and buy the lightest shade thinking I'm that fair. I'm not that fair anymore. I used to be, not anymore. But this shade here in G11 is so close to my skin tone and it's a really great way for me to like maybe add a little bit more coverage to the under eyes. Or if I have like my nose is a little bit red, I'll take just a little bit of it here, but I don't have to put it on all over the face. I've really been going for minimal like base makeup. And this is kind of just putting it on where I need it, blending it in, and it's really, really, really good. So on days when I want a little bit more coverage, but I still don't want to put foundation everywhere, I reach for this. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Super, it's just Radiant Concealer. I was gonna say super something. I don't know anymore because like I've used it so much, like all of the writing on the outside, she's gone. She's been wiped off by all my makeup-y hands and grubby paws. But I love this stuff. I am nearing the end. Like I'm to the point now where like I'm scraping the sides down and there's like, I'm at the point where I have to take out the stopper to finish this up. This is great. If you're curious, I wear the lightest shade. Well, when I purchased it, it was the lightest shade. They might have a lighter shade now, but it's 0.5N. I love this. This is another one of those that is definitely more coverage. You get a ton more coverage with this. So you can see that it is, I feel like it's what Shape Tape wants to be, but can never be because, I don't know, it's what my face can handle. And it's like heavy duty coverage, but it never dries my under eyes out. Here's where I tell you, I don't have dry under eyes. I don't have dry skin. Mostly normal. I can get really oily like around my nose and like right across the tops of my cheeks here, kind of like in this little rectangular window, my chin, and a little bit on my forehead in the summertime. Most of the rest of the time, mostly normal, but I love the coverage this gives. And another one that is such a good shade match for me that I can put it where I want it and not need something everywhere. So I will just dab this where I need it. And I will take a fluffy brush like this, and I will just use that to like blend it out. And I'm not putting it everywhere. I have like a dot here, one dot on my nose, a little bit here, and on this hyperpigmentation spot. But it's enough where it's not a full face of coverage. It definitely feels much lighter than foundation, but I get the reduction in redness, the reduction in pigmentation, like a little bit more coverage under the eyes, but it shears out beautifully and it never makes my skin look crazy. I talk about this a lot. This is one of my favorite, like these two products here, the Under Eye Genius from Beauty Pie and this One Powder Wonder in Uber Lucent Universal. So good. Now I know it's white, I know it looks scary, but this is such a beautiful, beautiful powder. I have it right here in the middle, and that's me like going over the surface of the powder multiple times. But once you start kind of like putting it on your skin, it doesn't increase texture. It doesn't make my skin look dry. It does take down a little bit of the dewiness, but not so much that you look like you're flat matte, because there's some radiance in this. I know this formula, the One Powder Wonder, only comes in this shade. I don't know how this would work for somebody with a richer skin tone than me, but I love this. This I feel is a really good, less expensive, and more product to the pan than the under eye blurring powder from Pat McGrath. I really love Pat's formula, but you're getting so little in here. It's like a little teeny tiny baby amount. Let's see, we are getting 4 grams, and here you're getting 8 grams. This is $34, this is under 15. Okay, that's why I love this. So you're getting twice as much. I know that prices have been going up everywhere. Remember when this product used to be $30? Was it ever 28? I don't remember. I know product prices have been going up, but that's where I really feel like getting twice the amount here, and it's still a slightly radiant, lightweight powder that doesn't ever look heavy on the skin. This is beautiful for the under eyes. And so this summer, that's what I've been reaching for. What I know is gonna work and not make me look cakey and gross in the heat. Oh my goodness, I recently did an entire blush video where I was ranking every blush I've purchased in 2023. I have 22 blushes that I've purchased from January until late July. That's a lot of blush in 7 months. I will link it for you here and the description box down below, but I kind of noticed that there was a trend. Things that I was really reaching for this month, a lot of cream products. So with my minimal base foundation, I haven't been setting my entire face, and I'm reaching for products that are still kind of new to me. This is one of them. I really like this. I'm wearing this today. This is the Flush Balm from Merit. This is the shade Fox. It blends really easily. I first did not get along with this formula. I have another shade. I originally got the shade Cheeky like about a year and a half ago. And although I thought the color was nice, intuitively I want to do this. And every time I do that, it breaks up any concealer foundation that I have like on my cheeks right here, because it's rather emollient. But if I pick it up with a synthetic brush like this, dab it off on the back of my hand, then I can go and place my blush, and it's never ever going to break up what I have underneath. I really have been liking, and this shade is what I've been liking. It's so pretty. All right, on top of that, here's another one that I think is really interesting and a great addition to my collection. It's from Ritual Defeat. This is their Inner Glow Cream Pigment, and this is the shade Desired. So it looks like this. It's very cool. I don't think another blush that is this cool. But when you blend it out, it is the prettiest kind of little bit of, do you see? It's cool, it's not too much. It doesn't look like a crazy, intense, like, oh my goodness, that's gray. It's like a gray lavender, but when you blend it out, it's so pretty. On fair skin, this is stunning. I also like using this on the lip. I usually bring in a little bit more warmth if I'm using this on the lip, just because I like a slightly bolder, warmer lip, but I really have been liking this formula, and I'm not surprised that I like it. All right, another blush. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna like it this much, and I can't stop reaching for it. And I just tried it for the first time in a trying new makeup video, which I will link for you here and in the description box, but it's this. This is from Make Beauty. They have really pretty packaging, you know, silver and gold. It's really lovely. Mine has fingerprints and makeup on it, but this is the shade Swelter. So this is definitely a kind of more red leaning blush, but the minute you start, it's a little on the coolish side. The minute you start to blend it in, it gives just a little bit. It's like super easy. And I have a little bit of this on the apples of my cheeks, so I have 2 shades on today. I really like this too. This formula is easy. On a light makeup day, like tap it in with my fingers and I'm good to go. The only powder blush I've been reaching for this month is this one here. This is from Beauty Pie. This is one of their refillable blushes. Their Super Cheek Vitamin Powder Blush. The shade that I have is Current Mood. It's so pretty. It's a little pinker than I normally reach for, but it's just lovely. Okay, so it's right here. Again, a little on the coolish side, so I have kind of like one warm blush and the rest of them are leaning a little bit cool. I don't know what that's saying about my choices right now, but I love this. This looks beautiful. I've been picking it up with this brush right here. This is a Wayne Goss number 13. I don't think he makes this anymore, but just a little bit and like just kind of pouncing it where I want it. It's super easy to apply. It's not too much. I think this is the lightest shade in the range from Beauty Pie. And if you didn't know, she's refillable. So you can get just the pan. The pan is the one that has the name on the back. And you can put it in here. I love that. So there's no packaging information on the back. It's on the back of the pan. Love, 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 love. And I feel like this is a really great way to do a blush. And I think this formula is so much better than their previous Super Cheek Radiant Blush. It was a little patchy for me. This has not been patchy. This has been amazing. So I've been reaching for a couple of new highlights all month. And I was trying to decide whether I liked them. Guess what? Like them a lot. This one here from Beauty Pie is really easy because you can just take it and like swipe it on. It's a stick formula. I love it. This is the shade Moonlight. This is their Pro Glow Perfect Highlighting Stick. This is what she looks like. So this I've been using in the inner corner. I've been using it on the tops of my cheeks. I've been mixing, like I'll put a scribble of this down and then I'll take a blush and I use my fingers and kind of mix it together for a glowy blush when I'm using cheek products. But this is so pretty, but it's also nice that it's not too sparkly. I feel like this is just the right amount of reflect without being too heavy. Especially now that I'm getting older, I definitely notice that if it's too sparkly, like right in here, and I usually take my highlight like right here and a little bit up, it'll get in my crow's feet and all of a sudden it's like, crow's feet. Guess what? I have a lot of them. Or if I take it down too low in through here, it kind of emphasizes the pore size that I have. And I don't have the most like bouncy and elastic skin like on my cheekbones like I used to because I'm 48, which is totally fine. But this doesn't accentuate any texture. The other one, love this one. All right. So this is the Rare Light Cream Luminizer from Ritual de Fille. I did an entire Ritual de Fille video. I'll link it for you here and below. But this shade in Phosphines, I was worried this shade was going to be like too much. When I saw it, I was like, I didn't think it was this pink. I thought it was a little bit more, but look how pretty this is. Like, it's like I feel like I could use just a little bit more. This is such a beautiful highlight that doesn't bring any extra texture, but it is very heavily fragranced. They use essential oils in their products, so if you are not somebody who can handle scents. The other thing that I've noticed is it does bring a really pretty, almost wet shine look to the skin. Love that. But it almost like halfway through the day, I'll put it on in the morning, and by about noon, right now, if I touch it, my cheek feels slightly, not dewy, but it feels hydrated. And then it's not like it's sucking the life out of my cheek, but then it feels like, oh, look, it feels like the rest of my skin, where I feel like the moisture from this product kind of sinks into the skin, but you still get this beautiful highlight. There are some highlights that when they start to kind of absorb into your skin, they lose their glow or their luster. This one does not. I really like this formula and I want to get another one. This has been really interesting to me. For much of this month, I have been defaulting to this little eyeshadow quad here from Beauty Pie. This is their, I think it's called Rose Gold, or I don't know. It's their quad. I will link it down below for you. But this is a really pretty, easy quad to use. It's what I'm using on my eyes today. I find that I get such pretty looks, but it's never too much. It's just like my eye shape, but enhanced. I do get a little bit of sparkle. I have other eyeshadows that have a little bit more punch to them, but this is just enough. I feel like it wears really well all day. Even on days I am not wearing an eyeshadow primer, I think it's maybe because it's a quad and it's super easy, but I also really love this color story. So if you're fair and you like kind of like these lighter shades in through here, this is just enough to give you a little bit in the outer corner. You can use it as liner, but this is great. I can't stop reaching for this. The other eyeshadow palette that I have been reaching for a lot this month is one that was a favorite last month, and it's the collab with Glitzy, Fritzy, and Sydney Grace. This is the Blessed palette. This is the light version. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. All right, so there are days that I will wear like this shade here and this shade, and that's it. And there will be some days that I'll wear this shade here and this shade, and that's it. And some days I'll do this one and this one. Like, I've been picking 1 to 2 eyeshadows. There was one day when all I did was run my finger over like my buttercup and just swipe that on the eye, liner, mascara, bye-bye. Like, this has been really easy for small edited looks. You can take this, of course, to like a full glam look, no problem. I really love this formula, but this has really been surprising me how kind of like, I was when I saw the original marketing pictures. I was like, no, I don't know. I don't think I need it. And how much I've been reaching for it is so good. I've been wearing a lot of eyeliner this month. 2 of my faves are from Make, their Continuum eyeliner. Oh my goodness, I'm wearing both of these today. The shade Nebula is a new one that I picked up. I love this. It's the perfect brown eyeliner. I have it in my waterline, like the tight line. I have it into my lashes, kind of shoved in there. And then once I got to the end, I used my fingernail to drag out a baby wing. Easier than easy. This has been fantastic. And this shade here, I think this is Celestial, and it is the prettiest kind of gold eyeliner. So this is what I'm using in my inner corner today. I have it in my lower waterline and right along the bottom lashes before I put on my mascara, just to give like a little slight like metallic look to the lower lashes. Love these. These are the sorts of liners that once they dry, they are not going anywhere. And for someone who has perpetually leaky eyes, this has like been a godsend. When I discovered these at the beginning of the year, when I did my full face of Make Beauty, I was like, oh, where have you been all my life? And I think I just wasn't trying the right eyeliners. I love this. The other thing that I love, they give you a pencil sharpener, and they give you a little teeny tiny brush. So whatever it is you're looking for, you can do it with this liner. Another one that is so affordable, oh my goodness, it surprised me, is this right here. This is from Essence. I picked this up at Ulta. This is their super fine brush liner. It comes just in black. But if you, I mean, look at that. That line is so sharp. I don't find that when I swipe it on my eye, there are some liners that are so liquidy. They're so, maybe juicy is the wrong word, that they just kind of like find all of the spider lines and just kind of like, and you don't get a crisp line. This is fabulous. I like it's like what? $6, $7? I don't know. I'll have to put it up on the screen for you. This has been so good. It only comes in black, and I usually wear a brown liner. If they came out with this in a brown liner, I may actually stop purchasing the one from M. I know those are strong words. I love the M illustrative liner. It's like my favorite liquid liner, but it comes in brown. This one is fantastic. If you like a black liquid liner and you're looking to try something new, this is super affordable and you can get it at the drugstore. When I was picking up new stuff from Make, I got this. I got the liner in the brown Nebula shade. I reminded myself how much I liked their Lash Prototype mascara. So I pulled it out for this month. Obsessed. This is fantastic. So it's one of those that doesn't have like a silicone wand. It's got kind of more of those traditional like mascara brush type wands. It's not hourglass, it's not too chunky, it's not too skinny, but it gives really beautiful, beautiful full looks. This to me can get me to the same place that a Monsieur Big from Lancome can get. And this one holds tight. So does the one from Lancome, but this one's so impressive. And also I feel like, man, it's got a lot of heft and a lot of weight to it. It's a really weighty component. I'm so impressed with this mascara. This one is good. No flaking, no smudging, no problem, even in the heat. Now the one that I'm wearing today, I've been doing a lot of tubing mascaras just so I don't have any chance of anything melting off my face. And I've been kind of defaulting to this one, the Beauty Pie Wrap Star Tubing Mascara. The wand on this one's interesting. It kind of looks like someone took a weed whacker to it. That's what I think every time I open it up. I'm like, oh, did little sister cut your hair? That's kind of what it looks like. But it's really great that I don't end up with clumps. And I'm forever like curling my lashes, and maybe I should, but this summer I quit curling my lashes because I was lazy. So I'll put this on and then I'll kind of hold it at the base of the lashes to push them up. And I am getting more lift by a stupid, easy little thing than I ever thought. But I think partly it's also the formula. Formula has been really, really good. I got my 15-year-old addicted to this, and she's like, Mom, I'm almost out of my Rap Star. I'm like, well, I'm not placing another beauty pie order for a while. You're gonna have to use a different mascara. And she was like, oh, so maybe I need to start getting this like at 3 and 4 at a time, a couple for me, a couple for her. I really like this formula. I've picked up so many lip products this month. Some I've had for just over a week. I don't think it's fair to say whether they're favorites or not yet, but I've been reaching for the Eldridge liquid lipsticks a lot, just so you know. But let me tell you the ones that I was like, I don't know, it really impressed me. This right here. Okay, I know other people are talking about this. This is the Glosstopia lip oil from Hard Candy, and this shade here is something peach dream. But do you see how much I've used? Like when you have as many lip products as I do, if I keep reaching for something, I really also, I know it's kind of cutesy and whatever, but I like the packaging. Here's what I like about it. First of all, doe foot is perfect. It smells like artificial peach. So if you like the scent of peach rings, like those gummy peach rings, you'd like this. This I was worried was gonna have a weird artificial taste. And not that I'm like eating it, but there have been times that, you know, I'll have a beverage and I will get lip product here and then I taste it. Can't stand that. This has been really good. And this is, it's thin. I feel like I can apply this with reckless abandon. If I over apply too much, it is kind of loosey-goosey and it ends up in all of the fine lines around my lips. But I love this, and I have been reaching for kind of like a sheer juicy lip. This has been fantastic. Another one that I cannot stop reaching for, and I haven't had it that long, is this one, another lip oil. So this is the one that I feel like is the first kind of lip oil. This one and the one from Hourglass, I remember people talking about years ago. This is the Clarins Comforting Lip Oil. This is the shade Chocolate, but there is something magical about this. And for me, it's not just the shade, because the shade is stunning. Shade is pretty. The one from Hard Candy is clear. Don't worry, I mean, it looks peach, but it's a lie, it's clear. And this one, although it looks really deep in the tube, is not deep on the lips. And it's just enough. It has a little bit of a, I know it looks brown here, but there's a little bit of a red lean to it. You can see it on the doe foot here. It brings the most beautiful color to the lips. But you know what I've noticed between doe foots like this one and this higher end one? This one has, like, do you see how it flexes? And the velvet on here, it feels like a kitten's paw. Like it's just like, you know, a soft, fluffy, like the most amazing, comforting, like as I'm applying it, it's so good. So the fact that it actually bends like this, it's not hard, it's super soft. I sometimes think I open this up just so I can feel like the pleasure of putting this on my lips. I know. It has a nice, pleasant, sweet scent to it. This, I feel like, is the lip oil that if you want not a $40 lip oil, but you want a high-end luxury experience, this is $26. I would definitely repurchase this. And when I bought this at Ulta, Chocolate was the only shade they had. I'm like, well, okay. Love, like obsessed. I have used this so much this month. I'm like, my oldest daughter was like, Mom, can I? And she tried it. She's like, I want one. I'm like, well, they're $26, sweetheart. I can take you to Ulta. She's like, you have so many. I'm like, I know I do, but if I just start giving you all the things, you're gonna think you need this amount of makeup when you're older and in college or afterwards, and it's not responsible of me. You need to learn how much things cost and pay for them yourself, or put it on your birthday or Christmas wish list. All right, but these two, an affordable and a kind of more expensive lip oil, fantastic. I've also been super in love. I've seen these everywhere and I was like, I gotta try them. These are the Romand Lasting Melting Lip Balms. I have 3 of them. I'm not saying this one's not a favorite. It just, these are the 2 that I can't stop reaching for. Oh my goodness, they're so good. This shade is Kaya Fig. It's beautiful. It's kind of like a pinky nude shade, but my favorite one is this one. This one's called Hippie Berry. Look, yes. So the interesting thing about these is that they do have that gloss and stick format. That's why they come in slimline packaging. But on top of that, they do what a lot of other products don't do. Like the one that I have from Hourglass, the Phantom Glossy Balm. This one is like instant melt and just kind of goes everywhere. I feel like I have like the ones from Tarte, like the plumping ones. Also, they look good on lips, but they kind of melt and go everywhere. I feel the same is true as the one from Makeup by Mario. Those ones also kind of are, you click them up, click, 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 click. I love these because guess what? You can roll them up and you can roll them down. And the reason that is because the formula isn't quite so melty. So they stay on your lips without instantly like, because if I over apply the one from Hourglass, if I over apply the one from Tarte, if I over apply the one from Makeup by Mario, I do end up with them just kind of finding all the fine lines at the edge of my lips and the color starts to trail. I don't have, now I'm not saying it doesn't do that. If I were to put on a lip liner, problem over. But I don't almost want to wear a lip liner in the summertime. I want it to be easy and slightly undone. And I don't mind it that much. But these have been beautiful, but they also have a nice plushy heft to them. They're moisturizing. They don't just keep your lips looking glossy. They actually nourish your lips. Not all products do. I feel like between these two, this one just like whatever state your lips are in when you put it on maintains that. This one is nourishing. I love a nourishing product. That's what these do. They impart moisture. They keep me from getting flaked. They have a nice sheer color and a really pretty juicy shine. I'm still using this lip liner nonstop. I'm wearing it today. This is the Thrive lip liner in the shade Khaki. Love this. This is kind of like, they describe it as a mocha brown, but I like that it's kind of like a more neutral leaning brown. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. I love. Here's another product that I'm wearing today. This from Hard Candy really surprised me. One of those that once you click it up, you cannot take it down. I think I might actually like this formula a little bit better than the ones from Wet n Wild. The Wet n Wild Rose Comforting Lip Colors are great. They're $5.50. This is also drugstore price. I got this at Walmart, I think for $6 or $7. This one doesn't smell weird. The ones from Wet n Wild always end up smelling like a little bit like ingredients on the verge of not being 100% good. But this formula has a little bit of a tingle to it. This is the Insta Pout, is it a plumping? Anyway, I'll put it in the, put it on the screen for you. Love this, love this, love this. This is so nice. So I have on a matte lipstick with the liner and then I put this over the top for a little bit of glow. Oh, love. This is one of those that I can put on without any sort of mirror. I love an easy lip product. Same with the ones from Romand. I can just throw those on. I don't feel like I need a mirror to do that. Same with the lip oils. I love an easy lip for summer. This is great. And I feel like packaging, like it's, you know, very on trend right now for being very Barbie themed. And not that this is supposed to be like a Barbie collab, but it has that feel to it. But I also like how sleek it looks. It feels like it's a much better packaging overall, even though it's plastic and it's drugstore, it looks much more elevated than the ones from Wet n Wild. So I feel like they're almost identical, but this one here is so lightweight and chintzy. Two of the three have cracks in the caps. Like I have three of these and then sometimes the caps don't even stay on very well and they'll come off in my purse and then I get goo everywhere. This has a really nice tight closure. I don't know, maybe it's because I have used and abused these. I really like this formula and I like that with this, if you ever get product up in the cap, you can see it. And that bothers me because they're really glossy. It's gonna happen. And here I don't have to say, I don't know. This is doing all the right things for me. They're both affordable. They're both drugstore. This one has a little bit more of a plumping feeling to it. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about like a 2.5 to a 3. So it's, you can feel it, but it's not like, ah, ow. I really like this. You kind of knew it was going to be here. This is the lipstick I'm wearing today with the Khaki lip liner, and the Hard Candy Instapout is the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Bloom lipstick. This was new for summer. It's limited edition and she's stunning. So I'm wearing this combo today. I love this. It's so pretty. I like wearing it when I kind of tap it out with my finger and then put something glossy over the top. But when I do that, I need like a actual lip liner. Otherwise stuff is just gonna go everywhere. Still in love with the shade Aperitif from Merit. I don't think that they even have this on their site anymore. I was looking for it to link it the other day. And this is a warm, I don't know, they say it's a neutral red. I say a little more warm leaning, but this formula, I don't know if they'll ever bring this back. I'm the sort of person that, like, I would write a letter to Merit going, you know, it's such a great shade. It really does add to the collection that you currently have. I know you have 8 shades. This is the perfect 9th shade. Please keep it in your permanent collection. But if you haven't tried these Merit Signature Weight Lightweight lipsticks, they're so good. They are the easiest like cream lipstick to wear. They don't bleed outside of my lip lines. They impart moisture. They're comfortable. They hang tight for a good 5 hours. If you eat food, you need to reapply or just touch up the center section. But that's what happens with all cream lipsticks. But I love this formula from Merit. And when I heard they were bringing Aperitif back because they originally released it for holiday, I was like, yes, because I should have gotten it at holiday and I just had too many other purchases. Here's one that surprised me. When I first tried it on in that trying new makeup video, I was like, love this. Okay, so this is the Kiko Milano Jelly Stilo Lip Gloss or lipstick. Here it is. This is the shade 509. What I love about it is that with one swipe, you're getting a lot less color. You can really build it up. And this is so soft. And it's warm in my house, so it's kind of melting a little bit. So this is kind of like an inaccurate swatch for you. All right, this is better. So it looks fantastic on the lips if you build it, but one swipe is just juicy enough without being too much. I'm kind of worried. I think that maybe Kiko is no longer being carried at Ulta because for the longest time, there was like 4 or 5 shades of this. I kept looking at it. What do I want? What do I want? And when I finally made the purchase, there was this and one other shade, and now there's only one shade, and there's not a lot of other Kiko stuff. So maybe they've just been selling their stock of it, and they're not going to continue carrying the brand. I made a lot of purchases in July. I know that. I kind of went a little hog wild. I felt a little overwhelmed for a while, especially when I wasn't feeling well, tail end of June, beginning of July, and I had all of these products piling up on my beauty desk. But let me tell you, there were some that, although I never make a purchase unless I think it's going to be good for me. So I research it. If there are reviews out already, I'll read those reviews. And I definitely feel like there are some products here that don't work for me the way I like to use makeup. One of them was this new foundation. This is from Ritual Defeat. This is a 3-drop weightless serum foundation. I have the shade number 105, which is too light for me. 1 drop. There we go. Has a little button on the bottom. It says press me, and you can press this and you just dispense 1 drop at a time. I like that it has more of a serum look to it. Now I have been adjusting this with other formulations because it is too fair. Like it's a little white. I look kind of like Casper the Ghost. Okay, fine. The problem I have with this is not so much and maybe I'm using the wrong primer. I don't have the Thorn Oil. Maybe the Thorn Oil would make the difference, but this ends up looking like it's sitting on top of my skin. Have you ever had a foundation or a concealer where you're tapping it in and all of a sudden you can't tell where your skin ends and your foundation or product or concealer begins? Or vice versa, where you're tapping it in and you're tapping it in and it looks like a layer on the top of your skin. That's kind of what this does on my face. And it's not just when I combine it with something else, it's when I use it on its own as well. And I think for me, the fact that this also brings out, like, I didn't think that I was really dry this summer, not really at all. And I don't think any of the other products that I have been using, like my Bosma Stick Foundation, which I love, the Givenchy Care and Glow Foundation, which I love, the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation, which I love, none of those show any dry patches on my face. And so I'm like, my skin's in healthy, happy condition. I put this on and it finds every single piece of dry skin. I was like, whoa, dude, I need to exfoliate. Or like, whoa, my under eyes are crazy. Or like corners of the nose, it's like, there's nothing that's gonna get me past this. The one that really surprises me is like right here, like kind of beneath the hollow of my cheek. I'm like, how is that part of my face dry? Like, it's been so surprising. So I like the way it feels going on. I really like the way that at the end of the day, my skin looks like skin. And that you're getting a lot of pigment from a little bit here. So I don't know whether I'm using the wrong primer on days that I'm not using primer, that maybe it's not getting along with my SPF or any of the other skincare. It just looks like it's sitting on the surface of my skin. This might look different if I were to put it on straight out of the shower where there's nothing on my face, but then I'm not putting on any hydration or skincare and I'm not using an SPF, which is non-negotiable. Your girl needs an SPF. Everybody needs an SPF, but I always have one on. So I don't know what it is with this. Am I gonna get rid of it? No, but am I going to be careful on the days that I wear it? Oh yes, and even though this lighter tone might be better for winter, I have to be real careful about the state of my skin. Are we dry anywhere? Because this would definitely like be taking like a magnifying glass to it. All right, another product that I bought thinking I was going to be head over heels for from Ritual de Fille is this. This is their Eye Soot. Now, I love this color. This color is called Half Light, and she's so pretty. And I have tried this with and without. Look at there's a really beautiful satin quality to this. It's really pretty. I find that this is one of those products, and I don't know if it's because of the type of, are there oils in here? Even on days that I don't have anything on my eyelid, even on days that I put down a primer, this still settles into the crease. What else should I be doing? Because normally what I'll do is I'll, put a primer on, and if I ever get any concealer up in here, I will pat it out and set it with powder and then prime my lids and then put this on. Maybe I have too many layers on, but if I put it on a bare lid, it's so pretty, and then about 4 hours later, like crease. And the other thing is, if I don't use this with a primer, I feel like this shade fades. I got some other really beautiful shades as samples. They do have a sample program on the Ritual de Fille website. And since these are, what, $38, $39 for a single, it's a lot. I think that's the part that really disappointed me. If I had paid like $15 or less for this, I know it's an indie brand. I know that they're made by hand. I just feel like I wouldn't be so frustrated because I like this shade. It's so pretty, so pretty. It doesn't last without primer, and even with primer it creases. So maybe it's summer and everything's too hydrated and glowy, and this will do better in colder weather, but I really wanted to love this, and it's not been perfect for me. Here's hoping that I have this wrong. I'm gonna keep trying it, but right now it's kind of like I wanted to love it, but this is the new Eye Stilo from Meg. This is officially called the Eye Shaping Stilo. I have the shade Shore. It's a really pretty, cool toned shadow that is a great, and I was like, ooh, I could use this as a base. And I've seen other people use this and really like it and say that it doesn't budge. I put this on. So every time I'm using a shadow single like this, or like this, or the ones from Lisa Eldridge, or the ones from Sydney Grace, the creams that come in the tubes, I will always take a cotton round and some micellar water and make sure I go over my eyelid. The problem I'd had for years is that nothing stayed on my eyelid without creasing, and I realized I was putting eye serum, I was putting moisturizer, SPF, which is great. You want those things on your eyelid, but those things were breaking down the quality of a shadow single. So when I reached for this, I was like, make sure my eyelid is bare. I put this on, and it's a beautiful color. I like that it's cool. I like that it has that slight mushroomy, almost taupey shade to it. Love it so much. And it really does help bring dimension to the socket line. You can kind of use it heavily in the outer corner, right in the socket, blend it out, nothing anywhere else, and your eyes instantly sculpted. For someone who's fair, this is genius. Here's my problem. It creases. I tried it the next day with eyeshadow primer. Still creased. I have not learned how to work this out. Maybe what I need to do is put this down and then put like powder shadow over the top. I don't know. I've tried it a handful of times and I've never gotten it to not crease. So halfway throughout the day, I'll flip down the visor in the car and I'll do this and kind of tap it out, and I'll go for another couple hours. But at that point, it's already shearing out. What am I doing wrong? If you have this and you love this, maybe not the shade, but this product, how are you making it work? Because I want to love it. Because for the ease, I haven't. Now here's one that I have been kind of like head over heels for, and then halfway through the month I was like, oh wait, and it's the new eye products, the eyebrow products from Dominique Cosmetics. So the brow frame is this really interesting brow pencil. So it comes to like a little sharp point here. It has a wide edge here, and today I laid it on its wide edge and I swiped it through my brows a couple of times, twisted it up, and then used it to kind of create hair-like strokes and fill in gaps, because my eyebrows are not this voluminous. They look a little caterpillary today, and it's thanks to this. The one thing that I have noticed is that I've been using it so much that like I've used a lot of the pencil. It's twisted down all the way, and you can see that I've used a lot of it. But twisted up all the way, this is all I got left. And it's gonna go fast from here. And I think that because it's a wider pencil, and you can lay it down like this, as well as draw on hair strokes like this, I think that's great. One of the revolutionary things about it is it comes with a sharpener where you're supposed to lay like the flat side. I haven't done this too much, so I'm like, I'm just getting rid of product. That's been one of the concerns that I have, is to lay it down like this and sharpen it. And you can get it super sharp at the tip so that you can have like the sharpest little eyebrow hairs like when you lay it down and use it this way. So really thin hair stroke marks and then laying it down like this. I do like it. It lasts pretty well. She's not waterproof. I happened to be outside watering plants. My kids and I were playing outside. One of them got the hose and I got a little bit of water like dribbled on my face. And I noticed right where it hit, product gone. The other thing is when I sharpen, I feel like there's so much product in there and I'm like, there's not a lot to start with. So I haven't been sharpening it as much as I would like. I would like to twist it up, sharpen it every day, but at $25, I think, $26, I'm gonna be sharpening away all my eyebrow product. And this spoolie here, yes, you can use it. It's totally workable, but it's the sort of thing that I would leave here for the days like, okay, I'm traveling and I forget a spoolie, I would pull this out. It's kind of like the, you know, palette brushes we used to get in the Naked palettes from Urban Decay or the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, the old ones that came with a brush. They were my just in case I was traveling and I forgot the rest of my stuff things, not the I'm using it daily. Because it's not a bad spoolie, it's just so tiny. It's like a doll's spoolie. It's not like a grown-up spoolie. I have been liking this, but I do have problems. The other thing that I've noticed is that I can try really hard to use this edge like this to find all the gaps and fill them in, but I still have been reaching for this. This is my all-time favorite brow product. This is the fine liner pencil from M Cosmetics, but look how skinny this is. So skinny, like what skinny? Crazy skinny. And these are the marks that it makes. And so I'll get it everywhere that I want it, and then I'll set it in place with the brow freeze, and then I'll be like, oh, but I still have a gap. And if I go in with this, it's too big, so I have to go with this little tiny guy and go like, boop, just right there. So has it been the only thing I've been using in my brows? No. But have I been using it all month? Oh yeah. Do I think that we have some concerns about how much product you're getting with the included sharpener? Yeah, and I'm sharpening away my product, but it also makes it perform better. So I don't know. The other thing that I have really been liking, I'm using it today, this is the Brow Blowout. And this is, okay, so right here if you're looking, that is too much. So I take and I wipe it off on the back of my wrist. I'll do that just because, and you can see now all of the color. This used to be perfectly clear. She's not clear anymore. The problem I'm having with this is that first of all, not enough is being removed as I pull it out. There's too much product on there. If I were to go to like, imagine all of this on the brush. Even if it was evenly distributed, your first one is going to be nothing but like gel. And that, even if you have really voluminous brows, I don't think it's the look many of us want. So I always like take off any excess off on the back of my hand, and then I'm able to go through. It holds really well. It feels a little bit wet until it's dry, and then it feels like nothing at all. The one thing I noticed this month that kind of surprised me was that after I had brushed it in, I'd gone like half the day. I was like, my brows look great. And then I was like, oh, apparently I'm flaky. And I thought that I had had this piece of like dried skin, like I didn't know. No. It was the gel. It had gotten like on my skin, like close to where my brows end, and had dried, and it looked like this giant piece of, so I was like, so it's not completely invisible. There will be times that if I get too much in one area, like if I think I've wiped off enough and I go in, I will get like a little chunky spot in the brows, and I do kind of have to pull it out, either spoolie it out or like use tweezers if it's dry to kind of like pull out just that one little chunk. This is not a perfect product, but I do like it. So these are favorites, but they need a little hand holding. Here's one that I don't like at all and would not recommend. And it's this. Okay, so obviously I've been on a lip oil moment. I've been loving the one from Clarins. I've been liking the one from Hard Candy. I got one recently from Ami Collet. I have the one from NYX. I have another one somewhere. What is it? The Milani Fruit Fetish. Love. Like, I've been getting really good lip oils and have been loving them. And I was like, look, LA Girl has a lip oil. Great. This is the sheer watermelon one. Smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. And from a kid who grew up buying candy before school every day on the walk to school in the 80s, love that smell so much. Or like a watermelon Hubba Bubba piece of gum. It's fantastic. So it's basically clear, even though it has kind of like a sheer little pink thing going on here. The problem I have with this is if it tasted like watermelon Hubba Bubba or watermelon Jolly Rancher, okay, fine. This tastes like soap. This reminds me of as a kid in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was sassy to my mom, guess who got their mouth rinsed out with soap? That was instantly the thought I had when I had this on and I was drinking a beverage and I was like, what? I thought since my kids do dishes that they had used all of our like large tumblers that are insulated, that they had not rinsed all the soap out of it. Or that they had put too much soap in while they were doing, I don't know. I was about to go, kids, and like tell them about how they need to be careful. And I was eating a snack as well. And part of the snack hit my lip and then I ate it and I was like, oh, that was really soapy. And I was like, well, the food can't be soapy. Oh, and then I was like, because it feels really nice on the lips. And I don't know if it's just this sheer watermelon one that is soapy, but dude, do not, unless you don't ever like lick your lips, get product on a straw, or eating a piece of food and then you might get lip product on and eat it. Like if this at all has a possibility of getting in your mouth, this is not good. Here's another product that I like, but with caveats. And I know the sort of makeup wearer I am, and this isn't the sort of makeup wearer I am, but I get it and I love it. But I have to work really hard when I use it. And it's the utopian dream. I did a video talking about how I never really fell in love with Pat McGrath Mothership palettes. I have one other one. And I just haven't been the person who's been like, oh, buy them all, buy them all. I know there's really beautiful formulas in here. And for me, a lot of them have too much depth and darkness for my fair skin. I look like I got punched in the eye because I don't have Pat's pro makeup skills. I'm your average friendly neighborhood lady makeup lover. And this color story here this is as dark as you get and it's fantastic. But what's funny is a lot of people love these kind of astral shades over here. Are they called blitz shades? Anyway, they're beautiful. They're so pretty and flaky, but guess what? They get everywhere. Now, if you have the Mayron mixing medium, maybe they won't. I have Pat's Artistry Wand, which is like an eyeshadow primer that you swipe on like a pen. And it's kind of like a gel in a click up formulation. You swipe it on and it helps to keep these more sparkly shades right where you put them. I'm still getting fallout. And that is one of my big pet peeves. When I wear a look like that, do I look amazing? Oh yes, yes. But it's a little bit more work than I'm used to doing. But what I have loved about this palette are all of the rest of the metallics in here. The mattes are beautiful, but look at these. Especially this one here. This one is a duochrome. It's hard to see, but you see how it goes a little bit green? Oh, so pretty. And the rest of these are just stunning. This one here is probably my favorite. You can see here it looks a little bit green and then it goes burgundy. It's a beautiful duochrome. I like this metallic shade here in brown. This peachy shade is stunning, and this champagne shade at the top, oh my goodness, I used it as highlight the other day. It's perfect in the inner corner if you're fair. I really feel like this color story is perfect, but what makes these sorts of shadow palettes so amazing are those really sparkly baked shades at the end. People call them the special shades. I've only used them twice this month. I have really been enjoying this, but I feel like to really get my bang for my buck, I need to use these guys a little bit more, but I've been going for the mattes and the metallics in here, and I have really been liking it. But I just realized that maybe the reason I don't buy Pat McGrath palettes that are like this is because I know myself. And I don't. I'm glad I got this on sale. Pat was having a 40% off sale on the website, and I got it for $77 as opposed to $128, which to me is a total win. So I've been sitting here with all of these beautiful things out in front of me so long. I changed my lip color. I was like, I want to wear my Lisa Eldridge Velvet Bloom. That's what I put on. So I wiped off the other stuff and put on this with a little bit of the khaki liner. Love this new lipstick. Thank you so much for watching today. Please let me know what your favorites for July have been. They don't have to be beauty related. You could tell me about your favorite movie. You could tell me about your favorite outing. You could tell me about your favorite sandwich or your favorite like morning beverage, like whatever it is, I want to know about it. Is there a new TV show? I know it's going to be a while now with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. What have you been loving? What have just been like consuming your month? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.